Welcome back to our channel. The word recession tends to send shivers down our collective spines. Today, we're busting some of the most common myths about recessions that you probably believe. We'll reveal what the experts often leave out and equip you with the knowledge to navigate economic downturns with confidence. Stay tuned for a mind-opening journey. Let's start by dismantling the idea that recessions are like an economic apocalypse where everyone loses. Sure, recessions are characterized by a decline in economic activity, but they don't impact everyone equally. Some sectors can actually thrive during downturns. Think about discount retailers, for example. People become more price conscious during recessions, so stores like discount retailers often see an increase in sales. Similarly, industries that provide essential goods and services like healthcare or food production tend to weather the storm better than others. A recession might create opportunities for new businesses to emerge or existing ones to innovate and adapt. If economists could predict recessions with absolute certainty, they'd probably be sipping cocktails on their own private islands by now. Even the brightest minds in finance can't consistently predict when a recession will hit or how severe it will be. There are just too many variables at play: global events, political instability, consumer behavior. So while economic indicators can give us some clues, don't put too much stock in anyone claiming to have a crystal ball. Recessions are kind of like snowflakes. No two are exactly alike. They vary in their duration, severity, and impact on different sectors of the economy. Some recessions are short and sharp, while others are long and drawn out. The causes of recessions can also differ dramatically. This just goes to show that we can't rely on past recessions as a roadmap for the future. Recessions aren't just about numbers and graphs. They're shaped by a complex web of economic, social, and political forces. Factors like inflation, interest rates, and consumer spending play a role, but so do political instability, natural disasters, and technological disruptions. Remember the dot-com bubble burst? It wasn't just about overvalued tech stocks, it was about a cultural obsession with the internet. Recessions are rarely caused by a single factor. They're the culmination of multiple forces colliding in unexpected ways. High levels of debt can create economic instability, but high debt doesn't automatically equal a recession. Governments, businesses, and individuals borrow money all the time. It's how they finance investments, expand operations, and buy homes. As long as the borrowed money is used productively, and there's confidence in the ability to repay the debt, the economy can continue to grow. Problems arise when debt becomes unsustainable, when borrowers can no longer meet their obligations, or when lenders lose faith in their ability to repay. That's when things can spiral out of control. Job losses are undoubtedly one of the most painful consequences of a recession, but they're not the whole story. The ripple effects of a recession can extend far beyond the unemployment line, impacting our mental health, social fabric, and overall well-being. Imagine being laid off from a job you've held for years. Suddenly, you're facing financial insecurity and the loss of your daily routine. It's a recipe for stress, anxiety, and even depression. Recessions can strain social services, increase crime rates, and exacerbate existing inequalities. So, while job losses are a major concern, let's not forget the profound human toll of economic downturns. The stock market is often portrayed as a barometer of the economy, but it's more like a fickle friend prone to mood swings and not always a reliable indicator. While the stock market can reflect investor sentiment and provide some insights into economic trends, it doesn't always align with the real economy. Sometimes the stock market can be soaring while the rest of the economy is struggling. Remember, the stock market is driven by a complex mix of factors, including speculation, investor psychology, and global events. When a recession hits, it's natural to want to hoard your resources, but completely cutting back can actually backfire. When everyone stops spending, businesses suffer, layoffs occur, and the economy contracts further. Instead of full-on austerity, consider redirecting some of your spending. Investing in education or acquiring new skills can make you more marketable. Supporting local businesses helps keep your community afloat. And let's not forget the power of self-care. Sometimes a little indulgence can boost your morale during challenging times. While large corporations often have more resources to weather economic storms, small businesses aren't destined to become collateral damage. Small businesses can be incredibly resilient and adaptable. They're often closer to their customers, quicker to respond to changing market demands, and more willing to pivot their business models. Think about the surge in online businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many small businesses survived and even thrived by adapting to the new reality of social distancing and contactless commerce. We often hear about V-shaped recoveries where the economy bounces back as quickly as it declined. But the reality is that economic recoveries are rarely linear or predictable. They can be slow, uneven, and characterized by periods of growth followed by setbacks. Think of it like recovering from an injury. Some people bounce back quickly while others experience lingering pain. The same goes for economies. The duration and strength of a recovery depend on factors like the severity of the recession, the effectiveness of government policies, and the overall health of the global economy. Government intervention can play a crucial role in mitigating the impact of a recession, but it's not a magic bullet. Stimulus packages can help boost demand, create jobs, and encourage investment. But their effectiveness depends on factors like how the stimulus is designed, how quickly it's implemented, and how it interacts with other economic forces. Sometimes government intervention can have unintended consequences like inflation or increased national debt. Other times it can be too little, too late, or poorly targeted to address the root causes of the recession. The 2008 recession left many people with the impression that a housing market crash is inevitable during a downturn. But while housing markets can be affected by recessions, they don't always crash. In some cases, housing markets might experience a slowdown in growth or a slight dip in prices, but they remain relatively stable. It all depends on the underlying factors driving the recession and the specific characteristics of the housing market. For example, if a recession is caused by a supply shock like soaring oil prices, it might have a limited impact on housing markets. On the other hand, if a recession is triggered by a housing bubble, then yes, a housing market crash is more likely. Here's a counterintuitive thought. Recessions can sometimes lead to deflation, a general decline in prices. During a recession, demand for goods and services often falls as people cut back on spending. This decrease in demand can lead to lower prices, especially for discretionary items like cars, electronics, and travel. Not all recessions lead to deflation. In some cases, inflation can persist or even worsen due to factors like supply chain disruptions or government policies. The relationship between recessions and inflation is complex and varies depending on the specific circumstances. While low-income individuals often bear the brunt of a recession, it's a myth to think that the wealthy are immune. Recessions can impact everyone, albeit in different ways. High-income earners might be less likely to experience job loss, but they can still be affected by stock market declines and business losses. Recessions are a stark reminder that we're all interconnected in this complex web we call the economy. While we can't predict the exact timing or severity of a recession, there are steps we can take to mitigate its impact. Think of it like preparing for a storm. You might not know exactly when it will hit, but you can reinforce your roof and stock up on supplies. Similarly, in personal finance, you can build up your emergency fund, diversify your income streams, and pay down high-interest debt. The more you understand about recessions, the better equipped you'll be to navigate them with confidence. Knowledge is power. It's easy to think of recessions as a product of our modern complex economies, but recessions have been around for centuries. Throughout history, economies have experienced periods of boom and bust, often driven by factors specific to their time. In ancient civilizations, recessions might have been triggered by droughts, famines, or wars. The Great Depression of the 1930s, while exacerbated by modern factors, was rooted in agricultural overproduction and a weak banking system. Finally, we've busted some of the most pervasive myths about recessions today. Understanding the true nature of recessions can empower you to make informed decisions and better prepare for economic uncertainties. Remember, knowledge is power, and being equipped with accurate information is your best defense against the fear and uncertainty that recessions can bring.